Chompy hunting is required for a breadth of content. All of the Western Diaries require some amount of chompies to be hunted, which in turn are required to unlock Elite Void. After completing the Elite Diaries, you can continue to hunt chompies for further ogre hats, or the chance of receiving a chompy chick pet at a rate of 1 out of 500, the most common pet in the game. Nearly every account will need to hunt chompies at some point. For gear, this is what I use. You're required to use either an ogre bow or an ogre comp bow. The composite bow firing faster and having the same bonuses, but slightly less range. You also require brutal arrows. I personally use adamant brutals, as the cost is more reasonable, but if you want this over with as quickly as possible, rune are the best option. The comp bow and brutals require Zogre Flesh Eaters, so I'd recommend getting that finished before you start your hunt. I've seen many people bringing Void here, even the regular variant, as they haven't completed the diary yet. But Void is really not worth using here. The ogre bows have a weird damage bonus multiplier that does not stack with Void. You only get the accuracy bonus. Because even D'hide provides better accuracy bonuses than Void, you'll want to avoid using it here. My setup is the best in slot for the area, besides the arrows, but your gear does not matter a ton. Bring the best ranged gear you have. Archer's Helm and D'hide, as well as Fury and Accumulator, will all work perfectly fine here as well. For inventory, I bring 20 Ogre Bellows, which you can acquire by using the drop trick at Rant's Cave, by searching this chest and then dropping your bellows until you have enough on the ground. If you aren't using potions or my other items, fill your inventory with bellows until you have 3 free spaces, 4 if hunting the pet. I brought divine ranging potions as I wanted to speed this process up, and even though chompies are extremely weak, you still don't always one-hit them because the bow and arrows are awful. I don't bring prayer potions as they would take too many inventory spaces and shorten the trip too much. The basket of strawberries is for when my health drops too low from sipping divine potions. Because you can't use brews for divine potions, strawberries are the highest healing single-space food besides sweets and brews that you can use. This should also be a good method for derrocking the giant mole as well. I'll most likely make a guide on this in the future. You can also always just bring regular potions or skip the potions entirely and just bring more bellows. The best place to hunt chompies is on the peninsula southwest of Castle Wars. You can hunt chompies anywhere around Felled Up Hills, but this spot seems to have the most frog spawns. The fastest way to get there is with fairy ring code BKP, or you can use a Ring of Dueling to Castle Wars. The process is very simple. Fill your bellows with swamp gas. You can either AFK this and let your character fill them slowly, or spam use bellows onto the bubbles and very quickly fill them. You then inflate frogs. The reason I keep 3 spaces open is because 3 is the maximum amount of frogs you can carry at a given time. If you inflate any extra frogs, one will escape your inventory each time. You then simply place the frogs down. There's no rhyme or reason to this, and they can be placed literally anywhere. It doesn't matter at all. Each frog placed has a chance to spawn a chompy, which you can then shoot with your bow. The easy Western Diaries increase your chance of a second chompy spawning by 25%, the mediums by 50%, and finally the elites guarantee a second bird spawn. If you're knocking out your diaries back to back, I recommend getting the bare minimum chompy requirements for each easy and medium diary, and then leaving to go do those as you unlock the amount of kills required, as those being completed will dramatically speed up this process. You can see in the video I am plucking the chompies as well. It's not worth doing at all if you're simply getting your diaries completed, as it only provides a small amount of feathers for the process. If you are pet hunting, however, it is absolutely worth doing, as you get a second roll of the pet with each chompy hunted and plucked. 2 rolls per bird. I actually received my pet from plucking a bird. I recommend grabbing the Chompy Hunter plugin before you start your hunt. This not only provides a counter for how many chompies you have hunted total, it will highlight chompies and place a timer over them, as after 60 seconds the chompy will fly away. Sometimes a huge flock of chompies will fly in and it will become extremely difficult to take care of all of them without this plugin, as some most certainly will fly away as you lose track of them. This plugin is external and does not come with vanilla RuneLite. You need to hop into the plugin hub at the bottom of the plugins and install it. These plugins are not quite approved for the official release, but they are endorsed as safe to use by the RuneLite team. Some of these external plugins have stopped working over time, as some are not updated, but the Chompy plugin has been working perfectly with no issues. Let's go over some basic tips and tricks I have. Chompies will try to eat your frogs you have placed if they have not yet been attacked by you. I try to tag each chompy in a row, then focus on the ones that are the closest to flying away. This prevents your bait from being depleted as quickly. I also try to do some actions in between shots fired, like placing frogs, inflating frogs, or because I was pet hunting, plucking chompies. Standing in between the chompies and your frogs is also typically a good idea, as if you approach them within one tile, they will screech and back off. This alone does not prevent them from eating your bait, but it does give you time to shoot them first. With the Elite Diary completed, and plucking the majority of the chompies, I was getting about 285 kills an hour. This should be a very similar rate to if you have just the medium diary completed and are only killing them, not plucking. The pet with my speed should take an average of about an hour, but if you are like me and it takes 3.5 hours, you start to question your sanity a little bit. I'm very glad I got the pet from plucking, as that blew my suspicions away that plucking them might not be doing anything. If you're just going for your diaries, completing the kill requirements up to the Elite Diary with these rates should take about 4 hours of chompy hunting. And that's it for the video. Leave a like if you liked it, or subscribe. Thanks, guys.